The World Language Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined, curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in biliteracy fields of study. The successful completion of this journey provides colleges with a method to recognize a rigorous foreign language immersion experience for all students at Oak Mountain Academy. I'm Patrick Duran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Good morning. Welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Raddick, your host. Delighted to have you with us. We have former state senator and Army Ranger Mike Dugan, a candidate for Congress. He's in a runoff. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Steve. How you doing today?
Doing fine. I'm going to give the bio.
Okay.
It'll take a minute, so bear with me. Here we go. Growing up, and this is from your website. Growing up in Carroll County, Mike Dugan graduated from Bowden High School, go Red Devils, where he played football and ran track. After earning his bachelor's in history from the University of West Georgia, he enlisted in the U.S. Army. He returned to the University of West Georgia to earn his master's degree in organizational development. I would never make that. I'm completely disorganized. Dugan decided to continue his service in the military and was later commissioned as a second lieutenant in the infantry, ultimately becoming an Army Ranger and a master paratrooper. During his more than 20-year career in the Army, Dugan was deployed to more than 32 countries, and I want to ask you about all that, including hostile fire deployments in Bosnia, Iraq, and Afghanistan, before retiring as a lieutenant colonel in 2008. Following his military career, Dugan and his family moved back to Carrollton, and he joined Ray Lynn and Associates as a respected local contractor. Feeling a call back to public service, Dugan ran for state senate and was elected in early 2013. His representation of Georgia's 30th district included portions of Carroll, Douglas, Haralson, and Paulding counties. He served as Governor Deal's floor leader before his Senate peers elected him as majority leader in 2018. In addition, Dugan served as chairman of the Economic Development Committee, the Military Veterans and Homeland Security Committee, as well as vice chair of Economic Development and Tourism, ex officio of Public Safety, and member of the Rules and Appropriations Committee. Having been at the forefront of drafting and leading Georgia's economic policies that have created the number one state to do business, although Texas, I think, disagrees, Dugan plans to bring his experience to Congress to champion solutions for economic reform and hold the line against Biden-era inflation. And here's a quote. Dugan said, quote, "Send me to Congress and I'll be part of a solution that secures our border, enforces our laws, and puts America's national security and working Americans first." Well, good morning again.
Well, that concludes the show
That's
today.
the show. What else you want to talk about? Anyway, today's first day of voting. Mm-hmm. So, and you're in a runoff, and for United States Congress. I want to start out though, because we've done the program, and you did the program once with Colin. And I definitely want to hit some of the issues. But I got a mailer from Mike Dugan the other day, and you've been endorsed by, it looks like 8 sheriffs.
That's correct.
In the 3rd District, which has 15 counties. And we got Sheriff Williams from Haralson, Terry Langley, you may have heard of him from Carroll, Sheriff Mike Jolly, is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm. From Harris.
Mm-hmm. Lynn Wood from Coweta. Sheriff Chuck Smith from Meriwether, so that's a little bit down south. Sheriff James Woodruff, and that's also from down south, Troup County. Sheriff Tim Pounds, Douglas County. I think he won with 80% of the vote or something.
He did. He's strong.
Incredible. and then Sheriff Brad White of Lamar County. So, and basically, tell me how you got all those endorsements, and because I mean, obviously these are sheriffs that maybe they knew you as the majority leader, but tell us about these endorsements from these 8 sheriffs.
Well, yeah, some of them did know me as majority leader. Some of them knew me from high school. Some of them knew me from a cross section in life. But they've worked with me over a period of time. They know that my commitment to law enforcement, our commitment to the district, our commitment to ensuring that we have the safest communities here that we can possibly have, so that families can focus on everything else in their life without fear of wrongdoing in their communities.
I'll use that as kind of a segue. Last time you were here, and obviously in almost every interview surrounding this race, if not every interview, we've talked about the issue of the open borders. And I believe you were down there in January.
That's correct.
And if what I read is correct, we've got 300,000 illegal immigrants, illegal aliens in Georgia. And we may have 1 million immigrants, but 300,000 of those are illegals. How do you translate that back to talking about the sheriffs? What are we going to see in the state in terms of any increased crime? I mean, we don't really know who these people are, and how do the sheriffs see it, and how do you see that part of that issue?
You don't mop up the floor until you fix the leak, and the leak is at the border. So that's the first thing that we have to do is, as a federal government, stop working against the state governments that are trying to enforce the security along their borders, because they're feeling it day to day. You work with them. You put the appropriate assets and resources towards having a strong border security system. Without a border, you really don't have a nation. So fix the border first, and then you start coming back around and looking at, we do need to look at immigration reform. That is something we need to look at. But I've said it a couple of times before, and people they fully don't understand what I'm talking about. If a person is here and they commit a crime, and during the process of the arrest and arraignment and all that stuff, you find out they're illegal, they need to go. Now, if you just start walking around looking at everybody that doesn't look exactly like you and I do, and picking them up because you suspect that maybe they are, that's going to be a violation of a whole bunch of U.S. customs and laws. But if you know somebody for sure is illegal, they ought not be here. If they commit a crime, and not multiple crimes like the guy in Athens did, but they commit a crime, they're gone. There's no amnesty discussion. There's no any other discussion. They should not be here in the United States.
He was from Venezuela and associated with a gang, and it's just.
And he had committed a couple crimes since he'd been here.
Yeah. Now, from what I understand, so far in the last 3 years under this open border policy of the Biden administration, we've got 1.8 million known gotaways. So we don't know, there's an unknown number of gotaways. So with your experience in the military, global war on terrorism, et cetera, is our nation now, I guess it's obvious we're in increased risk, but to what degree increased risk are we with having these people come across the border? We still have to take our shoes off at the airport, but these people just walk right in. So
yeah, you know the answer to that. Anytime that you have unknown persons coming across the border with unknown intents, our risk goes up. We talk about the number of illegals that are just fleeing their home area to come here for a better way of life. That's one group, and they're still illegal. But the other ones that are coming through that are on the terror watch list, and we've caught hundreds of those, how many have we not caught? Mm-hmm. So we are less secure. We talk about the fentanyl issues that's going on. You have it on your sign out here in the front. Mm-hmm. Over 99% of that from China is coming across the border in Mexico, and that's impacting every community in the nation. So it baffles me that we have not taken greater steps at this point to secure the border until it becomes a political issue right before an election, and then people start worrying about it, and that's just not the way it's supposed to be.
And even the executive order last week was kind of smoke and mirrors. You got to have, you'll allow 2,500 for 7 days, and then maybe you'll get around to doing something. But the other part that I think is heartbreaking is we have it's estimated 500,000 unaccompanied children have come across, and then we have allegedly 100,000 kids have gone missing because of this. I mean, this is an exploitation of children by the cartels too.
Absolutely is. And when I say humanitarian crisis, that's part of what I'm talking about. This is not like a charter bus trip to Disney World to get to the border.
Yeah.
They are abused, they are trafficked. The stuff that they are going through to get here. That's in and of itself a tragedy, and we encourage it by having such a porous border. Mm-hmm. They go, if I can just get there, all this other stuff that they're going to do to me if I survive will be worth it. Shut down the border. Take the incentive away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Time is passing already. Our guest this morning is former state senator and Army Ranger Mike Dugan. It's the first day of early voting for the runoff race for the 3rd District Congressional seat. We'll be back with more with Mike after this.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Gredick, your host. Delighted to have you with us. We're very pleased to have in the studio former State Senator and Army Ranger Mike Dugan, candidate for Congress. I read his bio at the beginning, and time will not allow me to read it again. Just say that he's a graduate of Bowden High School, and he played football and ran track. How about that? Okay. But anyway, welcome back. There was something that stuck with me, and I wanted to ask you about that. Over the weekend, stuck with me something you had said. Over the weekend, 4 hostages were released, I should say the Israelis were able to return and free 4 hostages. And I think there's still 4 or 5 American hostages there. But something you said in one of our interviews struck me, which was, because of your experience, you've been in Gaza. And I've always said, what you do and your fellow servicemen and women do allow us, you've seen things that we can't imagine. But I remember you said, those of us who talk about Hamas or those who are protesting in favor of the Palestinians or even Hamas really don't know what we're talking about. As someone who's seen it up close and personal, when you see a story about hostages being freed and the Israelis going into Gaza to eliminate Hamas, how do you see that with your background?
Well, there's a clear distinction between Hamas and Palestinians. That's not the same thing. Hamas is a terrorist organization that is recognized by almost every country in the world as a terrorist organization. They're using the Palestinians as a shield. They have declared open warfare on Israel for decades now. They've had incursions across. There have been constant missile strikes that they have fired from Gaza into Israel. And with that last incursion into Israel, where it was the heinous crimes that were going on, Israel finally said, I've had enough. It's time to eliminate the threat. And I feel for the innocent Palestinians that are there that are being used as shields, but they ought to be mad at Israel as much as they should be mad at Hamas. Hamas has abused them for for decades as well, to their own benefit. So
they live in poverty in large part because of Hamas.
Solely
Yeah.
because of Hamas.
Yeah. I guess there is a tie, as we talk about an open border and an increased terror level threat in America. We're talking about a terror level threat associated with Hamas and Al Qaeda and ISIS and Hezbollah and Boko Haram. And as someone who's spent many years in that region, how do you convey to Americans the danger there?
You can't. That's like describing something that somebody's never seen before, that you can't comprehend it. There's nothing to compare it to. I can make examples of, but if you don't understand those examples,
what good is it?
That's why a lot of people that have served in the military don't talk about the military unless they're with somebody else that served in the military and can kind of understand that language in which you're speaking. But we are blessed to live in the U.S. Sometimes I think we take a lot of the blessings that we have for granted, because I've seen the alternatives out there. We're not there. We need to start working together better to take advantage of the blessings that we have and stop this woe with me that we're doomed. We have issues. Absolutely, we have issues. We have issues that we have to rectify. But we've got so much going for us that other countries in the world are jealous of.
So how do you see yourself on the floor of the U.S. House bringing your background, your expertise, your experiences before Congress? What would set you apart, or what would make you think most effective?
Well, first of all, I have to be elected. And there's there is a difference between the two of us, and you just said one of it right there: experience. There's the leadership that I gained while I was in the military, the experience that I got while I was in the military, in the business climate, in the state senate. All those help prepare me for this next role. One of the things that I'm proud of is over 80% of all the financial support I've gotten for the campaign is from the state. 70% is from the district. So I can't say that for my opponent. His 97% is outside the district. So you look at all the lobbying groups, the PACs, the special interest groups, that's 55% of his contributions have come from them. So who's he representing? Washington or the 3rd District?
We all seen the surveys that indicate that really there's very minimal respect for Congress at large.
About 7%.
Yeah, it was 10%, but it's going down. And we could talk about that forever, and for the sake of time, we won't jump into that. But how does that apply to what you want to achieve and what you want to do?
We have to get back a sense of professionalism within the government. We have to actually do hard work and not be afraid to come back to our constituents and look them in the eye and say, look, here's what you told me to do. Here's what we did. Here's how we got here. And be open and honest with them, and open and honest with each other within the chamber itself. There's different types of politicians out there. There are some that once they give you your word, that's their bond. There are some that flow in the breeze. So you find the ones that you can trust, that you know are really, really interested in doing the right thing, and you work with them. And the other ones you just acknowledge.
Another thing that stuck with me, and I'm sure you wouldn't remember it, it was one day, and you were in your truck, and you just had been to 2 different meetings, and then you had another one, and I think 2 of the 3, the last one was in Douglasville, or Douglas County rather, and I think one was kind of a town hall, and the other one was another constituent meeting. And I said, how in the world do you find the time and energy to do that? That wiped me out. And you shot back, basically, I enjoy this. This is what I do. I enjoy listening to people. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, dang.
that's the job. If you don't enjoy the job, you don't have to do
But
it.
how do you balance out listening in town hall situations to doing exactly what you know is right and what's the best for the overall populace?
You blend the two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's I represent this district. I represent the people of this district. But I can guarantee you that within your studio here, you got 3 people that work for your company. All 3 of you are not going to agree on every situation. So you take the best ideas from all 3 of you, and you incorporate them into a proposal, that an option that is the best for the overall community, and you do that. And then you come back to you. You say, well, that's not exactly what I wanted. But these other 2 were saying, yeah, that's what I wanted. It's the whole time is you craft what represents your district into something that that's a positive.
And then how do you mesh that with being a constitutional republic and having the guidelines and the constraints of a constitution, whether in the U.S. Constitution or the Georgia Constitution?
I don't think they're exclusive. I think they work together. Mm-hmm. I am a constitutional conservative. I think that we've gotten to a place within all levels of government where we forget what our role is. There is stuff that's going on at the federal level that should be better left at the state level. And honestly, we talked about that a lot at the state level. Well, let's pass this. And then we go, but I thought we were supporters of, at the lowest level, appropriate. And I think one of the things we have to be careful of in any forms of government, any levels of government, is we're for local control until we're not. Mm-hmm. And we just got to make sure that we don't go down that mm-hmm. slope.
Yeah, it's more than just 3 branches of government. It's the state and local. Mm-hmm. That how, and having 50 states, takes and displaces control and establishes more and more freedoms. We're going to take another break, and we'll be back with Mike Dugan after these words.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Graddick, your host. Delighted to have you with us. We have Mike Dugan in the studio, former state senator, former majority leader, former Army Ranger, former Bowden High School standout on the track and football fields, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
In my own mind.
In your own mind, yeah, in that me room that you have.
Yeah.
I want to ask if it's okay, and this kind of, I know that I may not be getting too far afield from everything, but, we hear the reports over the weekend about U.S. armaments, U.S. missiles, rather, being shot into Russia now. And with all your background in Bosnia and in the Middle East and your service, it seems like the Ukrainian issue is a very complex one for a number of reasons. Where are we headed there? I mean, are we getting deeper and deeper into potential, world war, or what's going on?
Well, if I can answer that with any degree of certainty, then
you ought to be president.
You ought to be, yes. I have said multiple times that I think that our support to the Ukraine ought to be more along a Lend-Lease model, like we had in World War II, rather than the cash dump like I saw in Iraq early on. That there was no accountability of those funds, and I felt like we were just making some rich oligarchs richer with that, and weren't really bringing solutions to the conflict at hand. I believe that a Lend-Lease proposal with the Ukraine would be acceptable. I caught a lot of grief about that until former President Trump came out about 2 weeks after I started saying that and said, I think we ought to go with the Lend-Lease model.
Sure.
That's not troops on the ground, but if we have an ally and we can support responsibly, then I think that's a way that we can do it.
Well, I think it was under Bush that Georgia, we lost Georgia, and then Crimea under Obama. I mean, I'd be completely right about that. But it seems like we've taken a different approach with Biden when it comes to Ukraine. I mean, I think it's like over $100 billion. And I know much of that comes back to defense contractors in America, but still, it's a big change, is it not?
It is. And, again, the argument is, why don't we use part of that funding to secure the southern border like we've been talking about? And I agree that that's where the priority ought to be. That's different than a Lend-Lease. Lend-Lease is basically a loan that you're given that you're going to get paid back, as opposed to just a handout, which we've been doing over the last little bit, which I don't think is the right way of doing that. We can't just continue to print money and get deeper and deeper in debt. Because one of the things that I worry about, and we can talk about Ukraine and that part of the world and the potential of world wars starting from that part of the world. You don't have enough time on this show for us to go through all that. But I will say that I think our greatest threat right now is not somebody invading us, it's our debt.
Yes, just like with a business or individual.
Yeah, we're positioned for a hostile takeover if you were looking at it from a business model. And if we don't get it under control, we don't have to worry about somebody invading us.
And that puts the dollar under threat as the world's reserve currency.
That's right.
It moves us more to this digital currency. It's just all very...
Which is all kinds of other issues.
Yeah. And I don't understand why... And no one has really put that at the top of the list. But a family, a business, and certainly a nation with, $34 trillion in debt?
You have not been reading the stuff I've been sending out, if you're saying nobody's put it at the top of the list.
Other than yourself.
Okay, thank you. I like that clarification on that. Thinking I've been spending a lot of money on these things.
But, I mean, it doesn't.
You need to read them.
Overall, it doesn't. Oh, I read them. Overall, it doesn't. Digital bank currency, but it just doesn't get the attention that it'll be odd if we really go under, if we lose our influence worldwide because of financial issues.
And that's, I mean, when you put it like that cut and dry,
yeah,
that's easy to understand. The complexities of how this all works out, when you're sitting there with a 30-second blurb on something, that gets really, really tough to explain to somebody why this is such a risk to us. But the short answer is we're giving our nation away through debt.
And the budget now is up to like $7 trillion with a deficit of what, $2 or $3 trillion. I mean,
our deficit's more than we spend on national defense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing we get as much as we do from our defense dollar compared to all this other stuff. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up, but today's first day of early voting.
That's right.
And in Carroll County, you go to what was West Georgia Technical College. What's your take on all this politically? You're in a runoff. Early voting's important. Didn't used to be so much, now is. They always say that turnout is the key for any candidate in a runoff race.
Yeah, turnout is the key. I mean, that's that we always talk about that, but any race, any time, you need to get more of your voters out there than your opponent gets their voters out there. I think turnout's going to be probably pretty low because we're in the middle of June, and we seldom have elections in the middle of June. Early voting is not as long as it typically is. It ends on the 14th, so it's 1 week instead of close to a month like people are used to. And then the actual election day is next Tuesday on the 18th. So it's a tight window in there. And you need to tell as many people as they can that this is their civic duty. This is a liberty that they have. It's not some kind of obligation. It's a liberty, and they need to take advantage of it and go vote. It takes 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Central bank digital currency. I couldn't think of it a minute ago. Okay, we have the tradition, as you know, at the end of the program, we ask each candidate, if you're knocking on someone's door, you see them at the grocery store, and they say, I don't know how I'm going to vote. What's your elevator speech to get them to vote for Mike Dugan?
This is a clear delineation between the two candidates on this one. This is leadership experience. This is being from the district. This is raising a family in the district. This is going to church in the district. This is going to the grocery store in the district. This is volunteering in the district. This is being around in the district. This is actually paying taxes in the district. This is actually living in the district, as opposed to a candidate that moved away from Georgia after high school, moved to D.C. right after college, and decided to come back when he decided to run for Congress, and is being significantly bolstered by special interest groups out of D.C. and California. You want somebody to represent you that actually lives here, loves here, and has been a representative that you can count on over a period of time. At which point they say, yep, you're my guy, I'm voting for you.
And the website is votemikedugan.com?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay, Mike Dugan for Congress. All right, good deal. Well, Mike, thank you for coming in, sir.
Thank you for having me again.
And, this is our third time with a congressional candidate, and I think it was, 3 dozen times when you're in the state senate.
Well, that's important.
Yeah. So you get an extra coffee mug.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy. It's a beautiful Monday morning. Go out and make it a great day. You're in tune to WLBB Carrollton.
WLBB Carrollton.